If you're joining BTech CSE this year, there is one mistake you must avoid. Don't assume that the college will automatically turn you into an engineer, because 4 years can disappear very fast and many students realize too late, I have a degree, but what proof do I have for my skills? And I don't have the confidence to explain what I know. That is the real danger, not missing out on an IIT or NIT or joining a tier 2 or tier 3 college. The real danger is spending 4 years and graduating with only marks to show for. So, if you're joining engineering college this year, save this video, because this is your 4 years survival checklist. And whichever college you join, do these 4 things without fail. And the first question is the most important one. In the age of AI, what should a CSE student actually learn? Come, let's get started. Everyone is saying AI can write code. And yes, AI can generate code. But here's the truth. AI can write code, but you must know whether that code is correct. AI can give you an answer, but you must know whether the answer is safe. AI can build fast, but you must know what to build, why to build it, how to test it, and how to fix it when it breaks. And that is why your fundamentals matter. Don't skip programming basics, don't skip data structures, don't skip algorithms, don't skip databases, operating systems, networks, discrete math, security, and software engineering. These are not just subjects to pass, these are the roots of computer science engineering. Because if AI gives you wrong code, your fundamentals will be able to catch it. When your app crashes, the fundamentals will help you debug it. And when an interviewer asks, why would you design it this way? Your fundamentals will help you answer. Even professional developers are very careful with AI. Stack Overflow's 2025 developer survey says more developers distrust the accuracy of AI tools than trust them. GitHub's own Copilot documentation also says AI suggestions need human reviewing and testing. So, your first rule is simple. Use AI as an assistant, don't become helpless without it. But once your basics are strong, the next question is, how do you learn like a professional without spending lakhs outside college? Most students use their ID card only for exams, attendance, or maybe a free bus pass. But actually, your student ID can unlock serious benefits. You can get access to tools that real developers, programmers, and big companies use. For example, GitHub Education gives verified students access to professional developer tools, including GitHub Copilot Student and Codespaces. Figma is also free for students and educators. Swayam NPTEL courses allow students to learn from top institutions with free enrollment and only optional paid certifications. So don't wait for your college to give you everything. Create your GitHub account, use Figma, use Cloud Credits, use Notion, use free courses, use developer tools. Because your college may give you a syllabus, but these tools will give you exposure to how real work happens. But then here's the next question. Simply knowing these tools aren't good enough. What are actual engineers using these tools to fix, build, ship, and discuss? So that's where the next habit comes in. Don't learn CSE only from random videos and motivation reels. Start following real people who are working in tech. Follow software engineers on LinkedIn. Read engineering blogs. Follow GitHub repositories. Read Reddit threads carefully. Watch how developers discuss problems on Stack Overflow. Attend local tech meetups. Join communities like Google developer groups, ACM student chapters, coding clubs, college tech communities, and local startup events. Why does this matter? Because classrooms can teach you the chapter, but communities show you the industry. You will learn what tools people are actually using, what problems companies are solving today, what mistakes juniors commonly make, what skills are becoming important, what kind of projects people are building, and what kind of work excites you. This is important because your syllabus may not update every month, but the tech world does. So if you want to stay close to the real world, start being close to people who are building that world. But here's a catch, just following people is not enough. How do you prove that you can actually build with these people under pressure, with deadlines? At least once in every semester, try to participate in a hackathon. You don't have to win the prize, just go there to learn. In a hackathon, you will learn what most classrooms cannot teach properly. You learn teamwork, you learn deadlines, you learn how to explain an idea, you learn how to build something even when you are confused, and you learn how to present a product even if it is not perfect. And that is real engineering practice. Major League Hacking supports hundreds of student hackathons every year. Google Summer of Code is another strong example where contributors work on open source software projects with mentors. But open source doesn't mean you have to contribute to Linux from day one. Start small. fix documentations, improve a readme, report a bug, solve a beginner issue, read other people's code. Because when you contribute to open source, you're not just coding, you're learning how real software teams work. But what if you don't win hackathons? What if your open source pull request doesn't get accepted? That's okay, because the next thing is fully in your control. Build your own pet project. Don't build projects because YouTube said top 5 projects for your resume. Build one that you actually care about. If you love cricket, build a cricket analytics dashboard. If your parents run a shop, build a billing or inventory app. If you travel by bus, build a local bus timing app. If your hostel food is unpredictable, build a mess review system. If you love fitness, build a workout tracker. It does not have to become a startup, it does not have to be perfect, but it has to be yours. Because when a project is connected to your life, you won't abandon it after one weekend. You will improve it, you will redesign it, and you will add features. You'll break it, you'll fix it, you'll learn more from that one project than 10 copied tutorials. And this is where many students make a mistake. They keep watching tutorials and think they are being productive. But after every tutorial, ask yourself this: what can I build slightly differently now that I notice? And that's how you will escape tutorial hell. But there's one more problem. If nobody sees your work, how will that help you? From the first year itself, document your journey. Write blogs, post project demos, record short videos, maintain a digital diary of learning. Write proper GitHub readmes. Explain what you built, what failed, what you learned, and how will you improve that next time around. Your document need not be in perfect English. It needs to have clarity, because documentation proves that you are somebody who thinks. It shows your learning process, it shows your consistency, it shows your communication, and it shows that you can explain technical ideas to other people. And communication is not a soft skill anymore, it's an engineering skill. NACE's Career Readiness Framework includes communication, critical thinking, teamwork, professionalism, technology, leaderships, and career self-development as important workplace competencies. So every semester, ask yourself these 5 questions. What did I learn? What did I build? Who did I meet? What did I publish? And what did I discover about myself? That is your semester audit. But this brings us to another important question. What if you don't know what you actually like in CSE? Don't enter the first year and decide your entire life too early. Use the college to explore. Try coding, try design, try AI, try data, try cybersecurity, try product management, try entrepreneurship, try volunteering, try social impact projects, try internships, try blending fields also. Biology plus computing, finance plus tech, agriculture plus AI, education plus software. The goal of college is not to just get a job. The goal is to discover where your real skills, interests, and real world problems meet. From second year onwards, try to get some real world exposure every year. It can be an internship, it can also be a professor's project, a startup project, a freelance project, an NGO tech project, or a serious open source contribution. AICT's internship portal connects students to verified internship opportunities across the country. But while you explore, remember one thing: the tech world will not stay the same. So the final question is, how do you prepare for 2030 when nobody knows what 2030 will even look like? Don't build your whole career around one tool, one language, or one trend. Today it might be Python, tomorrow it might be something else. Today it might be one AI tool, tomorrow it might be some other. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 says employers expect 39% of workers' core skills to change by 2030. That means the safest skill is not limiting yourself to one tool. The safest skill is to learn how to keep learning. So for the next 4 years, follow this survival checklist. Learn fundamentals deeply, use AI but verify everything, use your student benefits, follow real people in tech, attend hackathons, contribute to open source, build one project you love, document everything, explore different paths, and do one semester audit every semester. Screenshot it, paste it on your wall, and just follow it.
And by the way, if you're planning to join BTech CSE, don't miss out on the detailed checklist covering 7 things you must check before making your final decision. Link in the description.
Because after 4 years, your goal is not just to say, I completed my BTech CSE degree. Your goal is to say, this is what I learned, this is what I built, this is where I failed, this is how I improved, and this is the kind of engineer I am becoming. And that is how you graduate with more than just a degree, you graduate with proof.